Hello friends, and welcome back to Random Hearts and welcome to the kitchen. Tonight we are going to be making a quick and easy soup recipe. This recipe comes together in under 30 minutes and requires just 5 ingredients. I believe I got this recipe from a Taste of Home magazine probably 20 or 30 years ago. And in that magazine or publication, they had a section on 5 ingredients or less. And I used to love to scour that for recipes because I had 2 small children at the time and I had a job and my husband was away a lot and I spent a lot of time as a single mom. I did need recipes that would come together very quickly, and this is one of those recipes. Now I did eventually get rid of all of the magazines and just took out the recipes that I liked and put those onto cards into my recipe box. And that is where this has sat for the last 20 some years. We pull this out at least 2 to 3 times a year and make this, especially on winter nights when we have cold weather and we need something to come together quickly. So if you're in a hurry and you need something that is fast and easy, this will be a good recipe for you. We are going to pair this soup tonight with some crescent rolls, and I am using refrigerated crescent rolls. I don't particularly like them, but I do have a tube in the refrigerator that needs to be used. Typically, I like to have fresh bread with this of some sort, so I do pair that almost always with this dish. Tonight, we are going to be making a beef noodle soup. Here is what you will need for tonight's dish. You're going to need a 1-pound package of lean ground beef. I do prefer the grass-fed and as lean as I can possibly get it, so this one's 93% lean. You'll also need a 3-ounce package of beef ramen noodles. That will include the ramen noodle seasoning. You'll also need 1 envelope of onion soup mix. This is Lipton's Secret Onion Soup Mix, and we'll need 1 envelope of that. We'll also need a 46-ounce jar of vegetable juice. Tonight I'm going to be using the V8 low sodium. I do prefer to use low sodium if I can, just to avoid the extra salt. And we'll also need a 10-ounce bag of frozen mixed vegetables. I have made this with a larger bag of vegetables in the past, but you can make it with a 10-ounce. So let's get started with this dish. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get my Dutch oven started at about medium heat. I want to get that heating up. You can use a stock pot for this, but tonight I'm going to be using my Dutch oven. We are going to start with a little bit of onion. This was not part of my ingredient list, but if you know me, you know that I cannot handle ground beef cooking without some kind of onion or garlic flavor in it. I just don't like the way it smells. So I've got to add a little bit of onion just to compensate for that. We're going to get this going. I have no oil in there, and then I'm going to break up my ground beef into this pan. We'll get that cooking and get it completely browned up before we start adding the rest of the ingredients. And that will be the start to our recipe. And honestly, this is the hardest part. This takes about 10 minutes to brown up the ground beef and get that ready. And then everything else from there is about 10 more minutes. So we'll get this going and then we'll start adding the rest of the ingredients. I like to brown my beef in the same pan that I'm going to be making my soup in. It just avoids a lot of extra dishes, and this makes this a 1-pot dish, which my husband is very thankful for since he does the dishes in the house. But this is nowhere near ready yet, but I'm going to go ahead and get my oven started for my crescent rolls. So I'll get that going, and we'll just continue to brown up this ground beef. While my ground beef is actually cooking up, I'm going to take my package of ramen noodles, and I am going to break the noodles up inside the package. This is important because I don't want all of the stringy noodles in here. I want it to be a little more of a bite. You would get a bite with every bit. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up, and sometimes it does break the packaging, but that's going to be okay. I want to remove this seasoning packet for right now. So the noodles are going to sit to the side, and I've just got them broken up. And we're going to set those to the side, and we need this seasoning packet because we're going to be adding that here in just a minute, along with the 1 package of Lipton onion soup, the 1 envelope. So I'm going to give this a quick little stir again. It is not quite ready. I want this to really brown up on the bottom. I've got a little bit of liquid still in here that I want to evaporate off, and I want that umami flavor to come from the browning of the beef. So I'm just going to leave that and let that sit. Again, we're at medium heat and we just want that to brown up. Okay, I'm going to give this a quick stir. I still want a little more browning to happen, so I am going to leave this alone as long as I can, and hopefully the bottom of the pan will start browning up a little. But we are completely cooked. There is no more pink in the beef, and that is what you're looking for, and that took me just under 10 minutes. So we are ready now to add our seasoning packets. Now you could add these when you are doing the ground beef, but it does affect the browning process a little, and there is some sugars in these that can affect it as well. So I do not want that. So I'm going to go ahead and add my Lipton onion soup mix to there, and then the seasoning packet that came with the ramen noodles. Just dumping both of those into my ground beef mixture. Give that a quick stir, and then we want to immediately add in our entire bottle of our V8. Now I did give this a pre-shake, so a lot of times these settle on the bottom, and we want to go ahead and add that entire bottle to the pan. I might turn this down just a little bit too so I don't get tomato splatter, because that is never fun. But we've got that in there, and we'll give that a stir. We want this to cook for a few minutes, and then I'm going to go ahead and add our frozen vegetables. Go ahead and cut this up and get this ready to go in to our soup. If you have a larger package, that is fine. I just have a 10 ounce, so that's what I'm using tonight. We'll get that going, and that is all there is to it. We're going to let that cook for about 6 minutes. You can turn it down to medium-low and put the lid on, but I think I'll just leave it open so you can see. My oven just told me it's up to temp, so I'm going to go ahead and add those crescent rolls. They'll take about 8 minutes, so this will be done in about the same amount of time. I'm going to bring that up. The frozen vegetables did cool the soup down quite a bit, so I want that to come to a boil. So I'm going to bring that right back up to that medium temperature, and we'll let that come to a boil. All right, I want to give this soup a stir real quick here. Everything is fully cooked in here. I'm just getting some of those flavors to work together. We've been on the stove now for almost 20 minutes, so this is basically done other than putting the ramen noodles in. So we're going to take those broken up ramen noodles. I might do a little more of a crunch to them. I do want them fairly small, so I'm going to just dump those straight into our soup. And we want to give that a stir and continue on a low simmer to get those cooked up. Those will take about 3 minutes, and then this will be ready to serve up. And I do believe our crescent rolls are just about done as well. Well, friends, that's going to do it for us tonight. We were able to make that beef noodle soup. It came together super quickly. And we'll have a hearty dinner for tonight to keep us warm, keep our bellies warm, and we'll have some leftovers for the next day. So let me know in the comment section down below if you have a go-to recipe like this that you use instead of going out to dinner. This is something I keep the ingredients on hand so that I can quickly put it together in a pinch. And if you've got similar recipes, let me know in the comment section. I am on the lookout for a new recipe to fill this little niche of my menu all the time. So let me know, and if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave those also in the comment section. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. We will enjoy our dinner tonight with our crescent rolls, and we hope you're having a lovely dinner wherever you are, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.